Let's go drift it.
Hey guys, I'm the Drifting Dad, and today I want to update you on some of the winter build progress on my FB RX7. Coming to the rear of the car, another thing that I've done is started to take measurements for the suspension mounting points on the frame. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the things I'm going to do is to redesign this rear suspension so it doesn't bind. And I've actually started putting this in CAD. Maybe an hour or two into it. It's definitely going to take a long time, but at this point I'm going to put the stuff, or I guess finish modeling up the rear axle in CAD, and then also start designing my brackets and cycling the thing. One thing I will be doing is doing like a full rod end suspension. So Rod End Supply is going to help me out with those rod ends, which will be really cool. And it'll be nice to have like a fully articulatable, non-binding heimed rear suspension. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be changing the rear axle on this car, and I finally was able to go ahead and buy that rear end. So here we go. This is the Ford 8.8 rear axle. It is from a Ford Explorer, I think the 96 to 2001 years. So this particular one I got from the junkyard for a really awesome price, and it is a 373 ratio with a open differential. And I chose this because I wanted to try a little different gear ratio than the 390 that was in it. And the nice thing about the 488 is that there's so many aftermarket parts available, including a mini spool. So I'll be putting the mini spool in so that I'll have a fully locked or welded, basically the same thing as a welded rear end. You may be asking yourself why I chose the gear ratio I did and why I chose open rear diff versus LSD. So there's a few things. First, looking at with my 17-inch tall tires and the gear ratios in the T5 I'm running, the 390 for like most of the drifting that I've been doing so far at Piedmont Drift, which is I guess technically pretty low speed compared to a lot of the probably tracks I'll be drifting in the future. The second and third gear, I mean, I was in like last event I went to, I was in second gear. And really, that was not the best. I don't think I had enough wheel speed. And going to the third, I mean, I could have, and I should have tried more third gear to see how I like the wheel speed. But I decided to go from a 390 to a 373. So basically, that is making the gear ratio a bit taller. And what that does is basically gives me more wheel speed in second, and obviously more wheel speed in third as well. So I'm hoping that helps me make some more smoke and get faster on my drifting. Additionally, I might be going to like a little shorter of a tire, a 215, I think. So that's gonna obviously affect my final drive as well. I went with the open diff because the unlike a FB RX7 stock rear end, there's a wide variety of spools, lockers, all sorts of different aftermarket parts I can put in this thing. And what I'm going to do here is just put a mini spool in. So basically that replaces the spider gears in the rear end, if you're familiar with how a rear end works. And it's basically the same thing, or it is the same thing as welding the diff. So the two axles will always be connected, always be driving. And I won't have any issues with like a slipping clutch or a slipping LSD, like basically slipping clutches in the LSD, like I could have had before, which I don't think was the case. That rear end still seemed to lock up real nice. But it's me a little bit of a different driving feel, and I'm hoping that it is more predictable, help me progress as well. Another reason that I went with the 488 is the fact that it is 5 lug. So previously, the stock rear end obviously on an RX7 is 4x110, and with switching to the FC front hubs, that's a 5 lug 5x114. So these hubs here are actually 5 by 114 exactly. I think these are like 1/2-inch studs, so I probably will change them out for an M12 so I can just have the same thread all around, make it easy. And then also I'll be getting rid of all this parking brake deal and the heat shield, and I'll be designing and building my own dual caliper brackets, which is really exciting. And I'm working with hopefully getting a company on board to help out with that stuff, and I'll definitely be able to make this available for people that do have 488s that want to run a dual caliper setup easily. A reason why I went with the Ford Explorer axle is the width and also the strength or the size of the axle. So the Ford Explorer axles are 31 spline versus 28 spline, which is found on the Mustangs and a lot of the other Ford Rangers, anything else that the 488 came under. So obviously 31 spline is going to be stronger than 28 spline. And with the weight I am at and the power level I'm at now, I don't see myself breaking this rear axle. Additionally, the width was something I was interested in. So this axle is like 59.5 inches flange to flange with the brakes on. And that's about 1.5 to 2 inches wider than the stock rear end, which means that with my nice 3-inch Clinched flares, the wheels should sit about perfect with the same offset I had, and I won't have to run some crazy big spacer like I had before. For the front suspension, I really haven't done a whole lot yet, but I did just confirm that ISC is going to be sending me my front coilovers. They're going to be the FB RX7 coilovers with custom spring rates and valving, or I'm not sure about valving, but definitely a custom spring rate, and those should be coming soon. And I'll be taking a video when they come, showing you what they look like, what I think of them, and then obviously the install and everything. There's going to be a lot of fab there with building my own lower control arms, so I'm really excited to get into that, and I hope you guys want to see some video content about that. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the update. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have anything to say, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.